some crazy shit. So we have a couple people identifying themselves as masters. 3 masters. Do not want to cast as EVZ, but I will if it happens. And we do have our master Zerg player against our undefined Protoss player. Interested to see the stats on our Zerg player, see if he's done well in Peepmode before. He is favored, so possible he's at least doing better than our Protoss player. Protoss player ends up leaving the game. He does not want to play against Master Zerg player. Our Protoss player Undriven with the same Dark Templar icon may be down. Maybe wants to get some of that. I'm interested in seeing our random Masters player. It is going to be our Platinum player against our Masters player. Protoss versus Zerg. Oh, shenanigans. Alright, so in our 3 o'clock position we do have our green Zerg iNsBacon. In our 12 o'clock position we do have our blue Protoss Undriven. And right now a little bit of conversation about if he's actually Masters. Looks like he's 24 out of 26 in Peepmode with a current streak of 12 wins. So it's likely that he is probably Masters, or at least doing pretty well for it. He's at least doing pretty well for himself in any event. We do have our first player leaving the game. Or actually, second player, since our original player did not want to play the Masters. Our Masters random player leaving as well. And, let's see. Interesting piling placement from our Protoss player. Unlikely going to be a Forge Fast Expand with that placement. Our Platinum player looks like does not realize the scouting positions. You can actually only spawn close air or cross position. And, unless he's planning some crazy proxy, it's going to be a waste of time for him to go there. Our Zerg player taking a gas first at 13 supply. Drone is coming up to scout, and he is going to find his opponent. He did already find his opponent, Protoss player, before the Protoss did, since the Protoss is taking the most circuitous scouting route I've ever seen in my life. Alright, so it looks like a 13 gas, and then a 14 pull, excuse me. So the gas first, going to allow him to get speed early, and then, depends on what he want to do, he can take the drones off gas, and continue to play macro game, just get that gas for the earliest speed possible. Our Protoss player saving quite a bit of chrono boost. Maybe not doesn't have his build refined just as much. He did indicate his hands were cold, so he may have lost the fingers that allow him to hit chrono boost. Alright, so we do have the early speed. We do have drones pulled off gas. Gonna get the early queen, the Zerglings, as well as Zergling speed. Likely gonna take an expand here pretty soon. Once you make sure he's secure. Cybercore coming down at the Nexus, so Zerglings could be able to run in. This is going to require, I believe, 2 Zealots to block, although it looks like he's probably just going to go Forge into Cannon. Alright, we do have our hatch coming down for our Zerg player. The first 4 lings are out. Zergling speed going to be coming up by the time they... pretty soon by the time they get to the Zerg base, Protoss base, excuse me. He should be able to run in here. I don't believe this is a wall, but we're going to find out here pretty soon. With this entry, it will be a wall. And if not, he could potentially burn a force field to make it a wall. So, the question is, did he see... He did see the Forge. He should have seen the Forge. Alright, so our Zerg player not making anything at the moment. A little bit supply blocked. making a round of drones. And possibly just as confused. He does get the circling in, gonna see the 3 gates, as well as the forge. Should have been able to see the chrono +1 attack as well, with warp gate. Not chronoing warp gate, gonna be trying to chrono something soon, hopefully. 5 drones on the way, lots of drones coming out. Protoss player is saturated on 1 base, 25 workers. Zerg player at 28, continuing to make more drones. Roach Warren coming down a little bit earlier than normal, but nothing too crazy. Wouldn't consider it a rush unless he stopped making all the drones and made nothing but roaches for the next 2 minutes. Still missing some chrono on our forge. Possibly not quite as concerned about any kind of timing on that. Still a one unit can get on either side. Should be able to get on either side. Looks like going to be some kind of sentry zealot timing attack with +1 attack and hallucinate. Very interesting. 34 drones, more drones coming out, 4 roaches. Any kind of timing off of 1 base for this Protoss is quickly going to be running out of a window. Feel secure betting it all on Duke, also iNsBacon. Let's see, we do have an expand coming out for our Protoss player, a little bit later than you'd normally expect. He's got a lot of money he could be using. I feel like he's probably missing some warp-in rounds. And that is going to be because he's supply blocked. Just have 1 pylon on the way. With 3 gates, you should probably be making 2 every time. We have our 3rd coming out from our Zerg player. And taking a bunch of gas. They're going to be trying to get that tech up as soon as possible. No Evo chamber just yet. Against a 1 base, 2 gas style with a cannon, you would think you would want to get an Evo chamber up a little bit sooner. He does start 2 Evo chambers, but just because this would be the time DTs would be hitting and things like that. Even sooner than that if you were actually rushing DTs. So Crucifed looking okay. Could use some work. Overlord floating in, gonna get a scout on the Twilight Council. We do have a Zealot Charge coming out. And Zealot Charge and Mass Zealot Sentry hallucinate, just not so great against Roach. Maybe works against Mass Ling, but against Roach tech, it's not really gonna do very well. I'm interested to see how he's gonna use the hallucinate. He did use it once to get the Phoenix. I think the hallucinated Phoenix just died right there. He could continue to keep doing that to scout. It's a great scout, but instead we're just gonna keep getting that infrastructure. We do have a Spire coming out from our Zerg player. He's deduced correctly that Muta would be good in this situation. Really, almost every ZVP situation. They have some kind of use these days. So we do have 58 workers from our Zerg. He's droning up pretty well. He's gonna have a pretty good economy coming up here pretty soon, as soon as his units get here. And another huge round of drones, 12. So that's gonna give him 70 drones on 3 base, which is pretty good. Mr. Better would call that slightly undersaturated, but Mr. Better is in love with 85 drones and remaxing over and over again, which is fine. We do have an attack coming out, some pressure coming out. It's going to be interesting to see our Zerg player a little bit supply blocked. Does have an Overlord on the way, making nothing but roaches right now. Spire's coming out. Looks like he's gonna have enough gas and minerals to make a good number of Muta, but it looks like he had no vision of this, so he's a little bit caught off guard. And I don't think the surround of the Stalkers is nice, because the sooner he gets the sentries and the Stalkers out of the picture, their Zealots become pretty easy to deal with. Easier the Stalkers to get out of the picture. Easier it is for Roach to deal with Zealot Sentry. There's no reinforcements behind this. We do have 8 Mutas on the way, 22 links. I want to say this 3rd is probably going to be just fine, because all these sentries not going to do jack shit against these Roaches. So this has been a pretty failed attack. Had potential because it didn't seem to be scouted at all. Muta coming out. Where are those Muta? Muta flock just popped out. Probably going to be heading over here to harass these defenseless mineral lines. Our Protoss player's infrastructure is a little bit lacking. He does have the, looks like 4 gates, a Robo, and Twilight Council. Muta is just gonna, this is just gonna be sick. Doesn't have enough gates to warp in Stalkers to defend here or here. So this is just game. There's no way the Protoss is gonna recover from this. One Immortal comes out just to be surrounded by cockroaches. 2 cannons not gonna hold up too long, especially one pylon going down supporting that, and that's pretty much gonna be game. No recovery from this. Failed attack, late, weird build, not executed super well, and that was all she wrote for